This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNN.Live, and we're at the LD Micro Invitational 2019 in Bel Air, California. With me right now is Steven Silver from Kew Media Group. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is KEW on the TSX. Steven, welcome to SNN.Live.
Great to be here, Robert. Thanks.
It's great to have you on. So for our audience, let's start off with an overview of the company, and then we'll go from there.
Kew Media is a 2-year-old global media company which is headquartered in Toronto and listed on the TSX. We have offices in Toronto, London, New York, Los Angeles, and Sydney.
So I'd like to learn a little bit more about the company. You know, when did you start, and how did you develop to where you're currently at today?
Kew was launched in March of 2017 by my partner, Peter Sussman, and the chair of our board, and myself. And we rolled up a number of media companies from around the world. They were predominantly television production companies, but also a large distribution platform. And we've put them together in a short period of time to create a global media platform which already has a significant footprint and a lot of relevance in our space.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about the various media properties. Is there anything in particular that kind of brings them all together? Like, is there a focus on finance or business or entertainment? You know, what's the main flow through there?
The easiest way to understand Kew is we are a television production and distribution company. So what we do in one form or another is to develop, produce, buy and sell content, predominantly film and television, to buyers around the world. By way of illustration, in 2018, we brought to market over 2,200 hours of content, which came through our platform in one form or another.
And Steven, in terms of the types of content that you guys produce and put out there and distribute, you know, are there any titles that we would know about that are currently out there that go through your platform?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what you watch, but I have no doubt in our, in our library of content and inside the shows that we brought to market are going to be a number of shows you would recognize. Some of the recent highlights include The Inventor, which is a documentary we did with HBO about Elizabeth Holmes and the Theranos story. We distributed Leaving Neverland, which is the Michael Jackson documentary, which got a lot of attention as well. We have a scripted series called Line of Duty, which is going into season 6, which is the most watched show. It's the most watched scripted show on UK television right now. We have a hit show called Dance Moms, which is going into season 8 right now. And that's just a small sampling of the several hundred titles that we brought to market in the recent months.
So in terms of the competitive landscape, how would you say your company is both different and unique when compared to your peers?
So there are a couple of things that I think give Kew a certain measure of distinction and possibly a competitive advantage. One of them is that all these companies that we've rolled up are run independently of each other. So Kew Media Group is a conglomerate of 13 production companies. Those production companies develop and produce film and television. And they feed that content, they feed those television shows onto two extraordinary built-out distribution platforms. The two distribution platforms are called Kew Media Distribution and TCB Media Rights. And what happens in our business is when you join production and distribution together, you get a pop, you get a revenue synergy that you don't get when production and distribution are separated from each other. And that is really the secret sauce inside not just Kew, but companies like Kew. The comps in our space are companies like Fremantle, Endemol Shine, E1. Those companies, the ones I just mentioned, are significantly bigger than Kew is right now. But that, from our point of view, is great from an opportunity perspective, because it means there's quite an open runway between our $90 million market cap and that $1 billion plus market cap that we're chasing quite aggressively. And so our strategy in Kew is, on the one hand, to continue rolling up companies. We've demonstrated that we can do that both accretively, efficiently, and it's definitely a big piece of our skill set. But on top of that, we have now 2 years in a row demonstrated strong organic growth and have beaten the guidance we've provided to the market consistently. So what we have in Kew is a very strong, proven organic growth story, coupled with a demonstrated ability to roll up companies accretively and efficiently.
So what's your background? I mean, what were you doing prior to coming to Kew and starting this whole thing?
So I have about an 18-year history inside the media sector. Most relevant to Kew is that in 2006 I bought 50% of a television production company, partnered with its founder, became the president of that company, and within a few years sold that company to E1 as part of E1's roll-up. So I had a front seat at a roll-up that is somewhat similar to what we are doing with Kew. I should also mention my business partner and co-founder, Peter Sussman, who has a 30-year plus history in the television industry. Peter is known for many things, but possibly most notably for having put the CSI franchise together in partnership with CBS during his tenure as the president of Alliance Atlantis, which was a large independent television company before it was sold to Goldman Sachs in the early 2000s. And so it's really Peter and I who've put all of this together, and both of us have a long history of both producing television, building businesses in the space, and have a demonstrated track record of doing this successfully.
And where can our audience go and find more information about Kew Media?
I would suggest people look at our website, QMedia.com would be a good place to start. We are listed on the main board of the TSX, and our ticker is KEW.TO.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNN.Live, and we're at the LD Micro Invitational 2019 in Bel Air, California. With me again has been Steven Silver from Kew Media Group, publicly traded company. The symbol is KEW on the TSX main board. Steven, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks, Robert. That was great, man. Thank you.